I've got an idea. Use the glow sticks.
It was a really aha moment to use the glow stick.
That was amazing.
And then
Freak out!
the most awful pain I can imagine struck me.
It's a glow stick in her.
You want to have sex under that tree?
Not under it. In it.
The look on her face was just kind of like, huh?
Are you crazy?
Maybe a little.
I was just like, this is crazy. I mean, when I first met him, I remember all he talked about on this profile and even on our first date is how he was a risk taker.
What do you say?
I mean, I wanted to attack him right there. So I was just like, okay, let's go do this.
Okay, I guess we're climbing a tree.
We were both laughing so hard, and like I kept slipping. He was trying to help me up, but then the whole time he kept grabbing my butt. But we were both just so into each other. I mean, anything just to be with him at that moment.
You know, Eric, this is not how I pictured our first time.
I know. It's awesome, right?
I was thinking he was gonna try to be all romantic, like, oh, look at the birds. He's just like, take off your pants.
Get him off.
You know, Eric, I have a really comfortable bed at home.
Trust me. This will be way more memorable.
I was scared, but yet excited, and then wasn't sure what was gonna happen next.
Okay, tree man. Now what?
Let me make this easy for you.
It was real delicate. Everything was real smooth. It took a while to finally find a good position that worked.
Oh, Eric, don't stop.
Oh. Wait, hold on a sec. I think I'm getting a splinter. Just let me reposition here.
My boyfriend needs help.
I'm your boyfriend?
Well, this ought to be good. So, what are you here for?
I'm like, thought it was kind of obvious. No?
Well, we were hiking on a date and I fell out of a tree.
Looks like some date.
Well, because I mean, he was hurt there, so they probably think, wow, must have been a pretty rough.
Good God, what did she do to him?
Okay, I'll get you set up in an exam room, and Dr. Evans will see you in a moment.
When we first got to the ER, I mean, she looked pretty good. She looked like she was ready to go out, you know, like a night in the town almost. And here I come, bloody, like holding stuff on my crotch, trying to like, you know, prevent it from bleeding more. So it was kind of a little bit of a dichotomy going on there.
Most cases, the people don't tell you what actually happened. They just say, I just happened to fall. You like, fell from where?
I never abruptly came out and just told them, like, yeah, we were having sex in a tree.
You're pretty banged up, so you had a fall.
I told them how I fell, kind of like fell down the tree, scraped it, and then landed pretty much on my back.
There are a couple of things that are really important about this case where you actually do need him to give you real information. Dirty wounds are at risk for tetanus. Foreign bodies. Could piece of the branch be inside the wound? Tetanus status is always important. Dirty wounds are at risk for tetanus. Other thing is antibiotics. Does he need antibiotics? I mean, was it something, you know, you're in an area where you could have certain bacterial infections?
Yeah, well, I fell about 10 feet out of a tree and landed pretty hard on my back.
On your back. So then why are all the cuts down the front of your legs and your crotch?
Well, you know, it all happened so fast. I definitely scraped myself on the way down.
It just seems like your pants would have offered you more protection.
Well, when our branch broke, he was not exactly wearing
Wait.
pants.
You were in the tree too?
You know, Doc, my left leg really hurts.
Okay, let me take a look and make sure you haven't broken anything.
If you fall several feet from, you know, a tree branch, that's by definition trauma. So you have to worry about more than just what you see, obviously.
It was kind of funny because they kept looking at my package as well, and I'm like, what is these people's obsessions with my penis?
His poor package was pretty injured. So I think that was the thing, is he was just like, he said it was kind of numb. So he basically, later on, he didn't even realize how bad it was injured.
It's actually very important with lacerations to the testicles because you could have a testicular injury, number one. Number two, infections in that area progress very, very rapidly.
I know you're really sore, but could have been a lot worse than it is.
That's relief.
We're gonna need to stitch your leg up, though. So I'll get the nurse to come in and clean you up and prep you for that. And we'll get you out of here as soon as we can.
Thanks, Doc.
I'd have like about 26 stitches, like all the way pretty much to the inner thigh.
Doctor, how's his penis?
Fine. I mean, it'll be off limits for a couple of weeks, but he'll be fine. Give it some time to heal. I can't stress that enough.
Thanks, Doc.
And another bit of advice, you two may want to stay out of trees for a while.
What I tell patients when they do something that's straight, just crazy, I actually ask them to ask themselves, is it worth it? And have they ever thought of what the outcome could be? I promise you one thing that's consistent with all of them. They've never really considered the bad outcome.
I told her, I'm like, I definitely, this is like one for the record books. I definitely, want to see you again for a fourth date.
Hey, baby, we say next time we just get a hotel room or something.
Sounds good to me.
I love this girl more than I ever thought I ever would love anybody. We still have lots of adventures, minus the blood and typically the ER. That was, the first and luckily, hopefully, only occasion. Knock on some wood. And, but it was, I think it solidified us, it made it stronger. It made her realize that I'm kind of a more daring type guy. And it made me realize that she is a little bit better at panic situations than I thought she would be. I do know a lot of girls that put in that similar situation would have just freaked out and probably just stood there like, oh my God, and I literally had to go get the forest ranger to get them out of the tree. I almost wish that there was somebody there filming it with video so we could see ourselves and how ridiculous this whole thing must have looked.
I think I see a red-breasted sapsucker. Let me just, oh my. You gotta love nature. Oh, ow.
Caving is such a big turn on.
Sex in a cave can be very, very hot.
Where are you? There you go.
To make it really romantic, we decided to try to spice it up a little bit.
Oh, hey, I've got an idea. What? Use the glow sticks. Babe, when I said use the glow sticks, I meant use the glow sticks.
It was a really aha moment to use the glow stick.
Blue's my favorite color.
We used the glow stick like we never have before.
And then all of a sudden it'd go pitch dark again, and then it'd come light again, and it'd get dark, and then it'd get light again.
And then I'm having great sex with my husband. Sex in a cave is so exciting. It's just the thrill of everything that could happen.
That was amazing. I'm glowing. I bet Kate and Aaron aren't having as much fun as we are.
No. We better get back to them, otherwise they're gonna be wondering where we're at.
In the haste of trying to put everything back and get dressed, we thought we grabbed everything.
Hey, where'd that blue one go?
Probably rolled under a rock.
Where's the glow stick? Woke up the next morning. It was a beautiful morning. The birds were chirping, the sun was shining, and then
Frank, help!
the most awful pain I can imagine struck me.
Ah!
Are you nauseous or something? God, I told Aaron to cook those burgers more.
It's not the burgers. It's down there.
The pain was so intense, and the glow stick was missing. But I kept thinking, surely that wasn't it, because we had looked and we couldn't find it.
Okay. Do you think you might have like a urinary tract infection or so? No. Okay. 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 All right.
I was freaking out. I'm like, there's a glow stick stuck in me.
Which is about the only way to account for the pain at that point.
Donna's in trouble.
What happened?
I don't know. I'm not sure. It's food poisoning. It's a UTI or a glow stick in her vagina.
It became quite evident that we were just gonna have to go and seek medical attention.
I had never been so happy to see ER as I was at that point when we pulled up.
There's a glow stick. There's a glow stick in my vagina.
When Donna just blurts out, "I've got a glow stick in my vagina," I about fell on the floor.
You intentionally put a glow stick in.
We're playing peekaboo. I've never felt a pain like this.
I'm in agony. I don't know if I was exposed to something. I'm not really sure, but they need to figure it out and figure it out quick.
People often mistake UTI pain for vaginal pain.
Trust me, I've had my share of UTIs. This isn't one of them. Just check.
Well, if it is a glow stick, then there might be some complications.
The doctor was concerned that the glow stick had broken and possibly leaking the chemicals.
We're going to need to do a pelvic exam. Nurse.
I just keep thinking, we couldn't find it when we looked for it, so how are they going to get it out?
Well, there's nothing there. There's just one thing. The glow stick is not in your vagina.
The medical staff finally agreed to do more tests. And at first they're like, still don't see anything. And then finally they go, there it is.
The glow stick is in her bladder.
Her bladder.
How'd it get up in there?
It entered through the urinary meatus, the opening where urine exits the body. If you intended to use the glow stick in the vagina, it's not an impossible mistake to make.
I'm thinking possibly Frank was having some navigational issues while in the cave.
But I know the difference.
It was dark in there.
Yep.
That's why we used the glow stick.
At this point, I'm a little upset with Frank because he's acting all cool and collective, and I'm in pain. And I wanted him to have a little pain at that point, too.
What we're going to need to do now is extract the glow stick before it breaks or perforates the bladder.
What if that happens?
I felt horrible that I did this to my wife.
Well, the chemicals inside are non-toxic, but they can burn and sting. So what we're going to need to do is irrigate the bladder, which can be a less than pleasant experience.
And if it perforates?
Urine can leak into your abdominal cavity and cause internal bleeding and even coma. So what we need to do is pull it out surgically the way it came in. We're going to need to use a cystoscope.
Just stop. Do it. Just get this thing out of me.
To know that now she was having to have this surgery because of some fun that we were having was about the worst feeling that I could have. It's supposed to be a nice, intimate thing, not an ER trip.
When you have a foreign object inside the urinary bladder, several complications can happen. Perforation of the bladder wall, infection, and even stones. And if left untreated, these can lead to death.
Frank, it's gonna be okay. She's gonna be fine. The bladder is a very resilient organ.
While I was in the waiting room, it felt like it was forever. And of course, the whole time I'm thinking, great, now she's never gonna wanna be with me again. This is not going good for me, much less what she's going through.
Good news, Frank. We were able to retrieve the glow stick intact. It's over. Obviously, this could have been a much more serious trauma. Some things that are used as sex toys should not be used as sex toys.
We made a pact, Doctor, to never stop caving.
Right, and to make sure that the caving equipment kind of stays in the cave.
The real cave.
Not my cave.
Yeah, not her. Yeah, you go.
Donna and I still go caving, but we use glow sticks only as they are intended.
So I think you were showing me some of the perks of farm life.
I move her deeper into the woods. I'm feeling confident. And then I hear another noise.
What was that?
You stay here.
Dylan.
I was open-minded, but definitely a little weirded out because this is my first time experiencing anything like this. I didn't want to think that I was like afraid to be alone in the woods. I wanted to think I was like a strong girl. This is really scary. I hope he gets back quick.
The light go out? It does that. I'm sorry, Kelly. Stan's fine. He went back to the party. Why did you two leave the party?
For a place that was completely secluded, we had no privacy.
Oh, I see.
This guy's obviously coming over and trying to block my game, jealous that I'm there alone with this gorgeous female.
I was absolutely not used to the nudist vibe, but I wasn't necessarily uncomfortable with it.
Well, I've got a big day tomorrow. I'm just gonna head off to bed. Night.
So look, being out there's some people that enjoy wearing clothes, some people that don't wear clothes at all, and I've learned that you just keep your eye contact right here.
You're beautiful.
Me too. I mean, you're certainly more beautiful than Dino.
I'm just like, I don't care anymore. I have this beautiful, sexy man that I want to do it with in the woods.
Freeze. Don't move.
What?
There's a giant centipede on your neck.
And all of a sudden, I feel the most piercing pain I've ever felt in my life. Right underneath my lady parts.
Are those poisonous? It really hurts. Will you check?
I'm terrified. I'm thinking I'm going to die.
Okay, that's the worst bite I've ever seen. We need to get you some medical attention.
How long will it take to walk to your car?
I don't have a car.
What do you mean you don't have a car? How will we get to the emergency room?
Oh, it's not an emergency room. It's more like urgent care.
But if the bite is poisonous, will I make it in time?
Dino has a truck. We'll ask him to drive us to the emergency room.
I'm telling her it's going to be all right, and we get into the truck and head on over to the urgent care.
I need help. I think I've been bitten by something poisonous.
I was super embarrassed when we got to the urgent care center.
Do you know if a centipede can be deadly?
Please take a seat and we'll be with you shortly.
And I start to feel something in my underwear. When I look into my underwear is pretty much what nightmares are made of.
Calm down! Just breathe!
It felt like someone was holding a lighter underneath my testicles and penis.
I think it's gone. I think it's gone.
I knew I felt something weird the entire time down to the urgent care, but I always have mosquitoes or bugs on me, so I didn't really think twice about it, and, you know, my thoughts were on Kelly.
Right. Tell him. What?
Now, I'm standing there in my underwear. I felt really guilty and I felt really responsible because I had known about these centipedes.
All right, well, let's get a look at those bites.
They're in some pretty sensitive areas.
I'm the one that got her naked, and now this poor girl has a centipede bite on her vagina.
Sure, I've seen worse. Miss, can you come around and, sir, just turn around and lean over the bed. Take your pants down for me.
I assumed that, you know, they'd have a type of anti-venom or, you know, something that was specific towards this bite that I had.
Both of us are just in this throbbing pain.
Okay. Miss?
We were in a sticky situation. Very uncomfortable and miserable.
Did you get a good look at the bug?
Yeah, it was a big centipede, like this big.
What's wrong?
I look down at my leg and I see something furry and shiny. I was just like, oh my God.
I was freaking out. Doc, like, am I gonna be okay?
You know, all centipedes carry a venom, so they are all poisonous, but since you're both adults, this centipede bite dosage is not life-threatening.
Getting bitten by a bug while you're having sex isn't unheard of, especially if you're naked in the middle of a jungle. If you do get bitten on the genitals, don't panic. The centipede poison is very painful, but it's usually not fatal unless you have a serious allergy to the venom.
How exactly did this happen?
The doctor said that if we were going to be having sex outdoors, we better be using protection, and he didn't just mean a condom, he meant a tent.
Well, you need to be cautious when you're removing your clothing in jungle areas.
Will we be okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna prescribe you some anti-inflammatory medication and some topical antihistamine to relieve the pain and prevent infection. And just remember, scenery out here is romantic, but the bugs are not.
It'll take some treatment with antihistamines and painkillers for a centipede bite to resolve, but it only takes about 48 hours or so. For a bite to the genitals, that means sex is off the table for about 2 days or so.
I've never experienced anything like this in my life. I could just see it like my tombstone saying, bit by a centipede, having sex in the woods.